So basically, in the desert, Hashem asks Israel to bring them an offering, right? But the offering from plants. Now there is a question. They are in the desert. How can they offer plants? Or like, saurim and so on. I mean, סולת, במנחה, בעולו בשמן. בעולו בשמן, מנחה כף אחת, תסורו זהוב, מעלה כפו. Alright, so there is a question about that. Also, we know there is a Midrash that says, in the Torah it is written, מקושש עצים, right? There was a man in the desert gathering wood on Shabbat. Right? And the Midrash explain, yes, that man and his son were gathering wood a few times and so on. There is a debate how many times it was, and they warned them and so on. And then what happened? He was at the same time as the one who cursed the name, and both of them were waiting for their sentence, and in the end both of them died. But there is a question. How do we have wood in the middle of the desert? How do we have plants in the middle of the desert? What's going on?
The wood I know.
Okay.
The wood I know.
So explain.
Am Israel carried the wood that planted Yaakov Avinu. When Yaakov Avinu got in Egypt, he took seeds of his father's tree, right? Which is what's Ezra, and he planted the forest in Egypt of that tree, because he was a prophet, right? He knew that something will happen with that, and Am Israel will need it. So when they left Israel, cut all those trees and took them with themselves.
Good. So, Daniel, what did they use?
How they could find those precious woods in the middle of the desert? They carried from Egypt already, man. They knew it.
Wrong. Wait. What did they use the trees for?
To make the Mishkan, brother.
Exactly. So if they have the woods taken from Egypt, right? And they have it prepared for later when they will make the Mishkan. How can someone go outside to gather if it's already gathered? They have nothing to go and gather. It's already placed with them in the files and they have it prepared for when they need it. It is not the same thing as that man. He was going to gather food. He was going to gather wood in the wilderness. It's not the same. It's not the same wood. What are they talking about?
It's true. The woods of the Mishkan were coming from Egypt.
Exactly.
That I know from Midrashim.
That is absolutely true. But the one who went to gather wood on Shabbat, it's not the same thing. He did not gather that wood. After all, it is already gathered. Lekoshesh esim, lekoshesh. Yes, it's to go and gather. If it's already gathered, why does he need to go? And what does he do with the wood? What can you actually go on Shabbat to do with the wood? I mean, what do you usually use wood for? Maybe fire or something, but it's... How can he do such a thing? After all, hey, they have a commandment, especially in the Torah. לא תבערו אש בכל מושבותיכם. You cannot light up fire in all of your dwelling places, right? And so on. Overall, the sages tell us something very nice and interesting. We have בעירה של מרים. We have the well of Miriam. Right? Our sage says 3 great things came upon the Jewish nation because of the 3 great shepherds. We have the clouds of glory from Aharon. We have the manna from Moshe Rabbeinu. And we have the well of Miriam from Miriam. The sages say it's like a well. It's like a stone that was rolling with them in the desert. Wherever they go, it went with them and it provided them water. So to say, the well of Miriam. Now, in some places, they needed to stay maybe a few days, maybe a few months, and sometimes they needed to stay in that same place for a few years. Right? How do they know when they need to get up and start walking? If the cloud of glory would ascend, get out of the tabernacle of the Mishkan, and it would go on, continue somewhere, that was a sign for them that everybody have to gather their stuff and move on according to where it takes them. And when it stops and go down, over there, they're gonna dwell. Now, sometimes they would need to stay in the same place for many years. And In such an occasion, for example, we have the well of Miriam. Sage says the well of Miriam was where? With the Levites, right? After all, it comes from the merit of Miriam. Now, where were the Levites? In the center of all of the camps, right? The Levites were in the center. Now, this well of Miriam brought out water. Do you remember after Miriam and Aaron passed away, Hashem told to Moshe, go. After Miriam passed away, Hashem told to Moshe and Aaron, go and talk to the stone, and Moshe hit the stone. And then from that stone came water for everyone. Think about it. We talk about millions of people. From one stone came water for millions of people. What happened? It was a miracle for sure. Let's leave what happened with Moshe. What was the problem? Let's leave it aside. So to say, problem and benefit for all of Israel because of it, of course. But still, there was a miracle. And before that, exactly before that, what happens? What does the Torah says? Few verses before, Miriam passed away. From here we know, from the merit of Miriam, we have what? The Be'erah shel Miriam, the well of Miriam, that they had with them all around the desert. Now, the Levites were in the center. All of Israel were encamped all around them, surrounding, right? According to their own places, each tribe. This well used to bring, this stone well used to bring rivers of waters that would go throughout every camp, every tribe of Israel. Now, when they would stay there for years, what happened? Plants, vegetations, and trees actually grew up over there in these areas. Even though they were in the wilderness, in the desert, and so on, still Hashem made a miracle through that. And then they had plants, they had vegetation, and they had trees. I want to know the source of all of it? Read the Kli Yakar. Kli Yakar on the Torah explain all of this. It's beautiful words. And then we can understand, from here, the one who went to gather wood, that's where he can go and gather wood. And Hashem asked, tell Israel to bring offering from the vegetations. This is where they can actually bring it from. Even though they are in the desert, don't forget, they are surrounded all the time with clouds of glory. So the sun won't be too intense upon them. They have manna, food, descending from heaven for them to eat every day. This thing that one stone brings rivers was another thing. That's the fourth. One thing brings rivers of water for all of Israel. That was amazing.